Hello, and welcome to the Disney Dunces. Using your touch-tone keypad, please enter the first three letters of the movie title you would like to see. You've selected Saving Mr. Banks. If this is correct, please press 1 now.
Hello and welcome to Disney Dunces, the only Disney podcast presented by self-proclaimed non-experts. I'm dunce number 1, but you can just call me Richard.
And my name is Craig Stew. I'm dunce number 2.
I'm the third one, and I would have told Walt to go fly a kite.
But too bad you don't get to be the one to tell Walt to go fly a kite, because someone else does in the movie Saving Mr. Banks.
Was it Benjamin Franklin? Because he's the only one I know flying kites.
Unfortunately, he was not in Saving Mr. Banks. The spoilers.
I mean, there was a big crowd scene he might have been in there. I don't know. I wasn't paying that much attention.
I don't know if they showed the Hall of Presidents.
Oh, no, he wouldn't be in the Hall of Presidents, as he wasn't a president.
I'm pretty sure he's on the money that makes him a president.
The man who's got the face on the money makes the laws.
I agree with that. You know what? He's fine. He's a president in my eyes.
Thank you. Oh, no rebuttal, Casca?
What? What do you want me to... You want me to argue? Okay, not just in your eyes, but in the eyes of all Americans. What do you want me to say here? What?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, I guess. I can only go with so much stupid. There's a limit. I'm sorry. I know, I'm on the wrong show.
So, I have to get this out of the way. All of today, I was extremely excited, but also extremely reluctant about talking about this movie.
Why?
Why would you? Why?
Oh, because you don't want to be part of Disney's propaganda machine. Because, yeah, I was upset that we're talking about it, too.
Talking about what, too?
No, we're talking about Saving Mr. Banks 1.
There's a 2?
It's when they had to do the sequel, remember? They talked about she wrote a whole bunch of books.
Well, no, this is... Saving Mr. Banks 2 comes out after The Return of Mary Poppins, but just came out last year. I guess we're ahead of ourselves because Saving Mr. Banks 2 is just around the corner.
Well, you're talking future stuff.
Yeah.
Do I have to Google this?
Saving Mr. Banks 2? Oh, well, don't Google Saving Mr. Banks 2.
You're fucking with me, aren't you?
It's Saving Mr. Banks again.
It's when Walt Disney comes back from the grave and needs to...
As a great man once said, I can only take so much stupid, and then I'm out.
Enough stupid, then. Let's move on.
Yeah, so I was extremely reluctant to talk about this movie because it dealt with some dark themes.
Oh, is that why you were? Okay.
Yeah, what did you think it was?
The Disney propaganda machine and, going along with it.
No, we're a part of the Disney propaganda machine, if anything.
I refuse to be a part of the Disney propaganda machine. So I think we're going to be on two different ends of this movie, pal.
We're not owned by Disney, so we can say whatever we want. We can give negative reviews. We can give positive reviews. We're not just pushing Disney stuff.
That's right, Disney.
We're just...
Got a loose end here. Got 3 of them. Cough up.
That's true. But everyone, if you go to DisneyStore.com and use dunce at checkout, you can save 5% on your order.
5%? Wow.
What a what a deal.
It can almost cover tax.
I'm curious to try this right now, see if this works. I will,
Yeah, no, totally do that. But while you're doing that, let's talk about the dark themes surrounding Saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah, what was dark about this movie?
Yeah, what did you think? What do you think you're saving him from? It's got to be dark, man.
From himself.
That's not dark?
I didn't think that you were saving him from himself. I thought that this was going to be a movie about we're talking about Mary Poppins, and I thought we were talking about Mr. Banks in the film. I didn't know we were talking about the lady's actual father. But yeah, it deals with basically her father, relationship with the father, alcoholism, suicide, that kind of stuff. And
yeah,
it's heavy.
Yeah, I don't. I'm still confused what you thought this movie was. Saving Mr. Banks for the pockets of Disney. We gotta get him in there. That's where he belongs.
I didn't think that we would be going into What's-Her-Face's life story. I thought that it was just going to be about Walt Disney trying to win over a sweet old lady who has a dark side. Well, when I say dark side, I mean is grumpy. A grumpy old lady.
Sounds like you saw the trailers and said, yeah, I'll watch this.
That's actually exactly what happened. I went to Netflix and I went to see what's available, and I saw Saving Mr. Banks, and I said, let's look at a trailer real quick. And I said, yes. So here we are.
Yeah, you were also bought in by the Disney propaganda machine.
Thanks, Disney. You fooled me into watching this one, but never again.
What, you didn't like it?
I mean, this was such a slow movie that we're not really going to take this scene by scene, but just talk about major points.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe that's how we should do all these.
I mean, yeah, and like with shorter movies, it's like, yeah, the major points is kind of like scene
All
by
of it.
scene, but this, it's like, boy, there's a lot of nothing in some of these scenes.
It's 2 hours and 9 minutes of sadness with a pinch of whimsy here and there.
I did think it was slow. The pacing started getting a little bit better halfway through, I thought.
Yeah, when he's a fucking raging alcoholic.
I mean, he was always an alcoholic. Like, the film starts up with him not recognizing his daughter and asking if she's seen her. And they play it off like he's playing a cutesy little game, and I'm like, nah, that boy's an alcoholic. I've seen the signs before.
Oh, I guess that means we're starting.
Yeah, it is. Was that not a good segue? Did you want to talk more about how dark it was?
No, I mean, I wanted to get into it, but the first thing I wrote down is that Mrs. Poppins and her butler are yelling at each other.
That's not at all. See, I'm glad we skipped that because you're just wrong. Yeah, so I'm glad that I started with the thing I did because you were just wrong.
I didn't bother correcting her name once I actually learned it. Mrs. Travers, sorry.
And not her butler. Again, still wrong.
Wait, who is he then?
Her, agent.
No, it was her agent, and then she fired her maid.
But she doesn't have a butler?
No, she has an agent.
She has no money. That's why she had to fire the maid.
I thought she was just incompetent.
No, she was, no money. Agent begging her to take this deal, and she's like, well, no, I can't. Mary Poppins is my baby.
Yeah, so the agent says, hey, you're bleeding money. You don't want to write new stuff. You don't want to license your stuff. So
It's a weird thing for a butler to talk about.
I mean, it is weird for a butler to talk about, but I thought it was like butler/best friend.
Like Alfred.
Except she even called him she said to him that we're not even friends, basically.
Yeah,
At
I'm
that point.
pretty sure she probably calls him her agent at one point. I don't know.
I do like the Alfred comparison, though, because, Butler and Alfred,
But it's not true.
Alfred's all about, like, estate management and stuff. He's
He's been doing it since he was a kid. It's a different story.
fine.
Like, I saw her flashbacks. I saw this lady's life. He was not present through all of any of that.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I guess we're going to America now. Because I guess Walt Disney wanted to make a deal, and she said, yeah, let's make a deal. And off to America they go.
Well, she didn't want to make the deal. She just went because...
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
He's been asking for 20 years.
And yeah, I've been harassing this lady for 20 years.
Yeah, but you make it sound like she wants to. She doesn't.
She's hearing him out.
She is, I guess, hearing him out. Willing to. Finally.
So off to America, and she gets the VIP treatment. She gets driven from the airport. She gets stuffed animals. She even gets tons of pears.
And alcohol, her two favorite things.
And Paul Giamatti was the driver.
He's very good.
Very good in this movie.
I like him.
I don't even know who that is.
The driver.
The driver. That's all you need to know.
Oh, is that the guy from The Office?
No, that's
No.
BJ Novak. He's a little bit later.
Yeah, so, and while all of this is happening, like, we're going from scene in the present day to scene in the past, and all we need to know is that in the past, the kids are moving from the suburbs to the countryside.
In Australia. They live in Australia.
And the mom, not super into it.
Wait, she wasn't?
No, she looked terrified through that whole sequence.
I mean, she always looked terrified in the past.
Yeah, because her husband's an alcoholic lush.
Oh, an alcoholic what?
Lush. You know a lush?
I know of a Lush device.
What?
What? Yeah, hold on. What?
What?
Can you explain this one?
No, let's continue.
No, I'd rather... I'm going to be kind of stuck on this the rest of the thing. So you might as well tell me what you mean.
You may have seen like little pink antennas coming out of girls' hoo-has on certain websites
No.
that when they get tokens, it vibrates.
All right, so it's a money-based masturbatory aid.
Yes.
Okay, so
Oh my goodness.
you thought I called her husband a money-based masturbatory aid.
Well, I didn't know what a lush was, so
Okay,
sorry.
well-
I only knew of what one lush was.
Okay, well now you know the second one. Glad we got it all clear.
He just is the masturbatory aid.
Yeah, no.
He just stick him up vaginas.
Yeah. And he vibrates when you give him money.
He would if that was the case, they wouldn't be in such a
Wait,
you know, in such a pickle.
well, he'd be pickled, I guess? Like, what are you talking about? I don't
I'm just
know.
saying
Is that the
they
joke?
wouldn't be in such a a predicament.
Why,
You
you
know,
think she has money? She's a woman in the past. She doesn't get money.
No, because
How does she pay him?
He's the lush. You're saying he's the lush. So
Yeah, her lush. Because they're
he's
married.
her lush. Oh, so she wouldn't
Yeah.
be paying. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I just figured,
Streaming wasn't invented yet. So yeah, you said did you want to get back to the present or did you want to get back to the past?
No, let's get back to the present where this guy doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, perfect. I'd also like to forget about him after this conversation.
Colin Farrell, by the way. That's just to clear things up. The father is Colin Farrell,
No idea who that is.
the actor.
Oh, okay. Let's go back to the present.
We're back in the present now. She gets a nice trip to the studio where she's greeted by corporate sleazebags, and she doesn't want to deal with the corporate sleazebags. She wants to deal with Walt himself, the head sleazebag.
They're not corporate sleazebags.
Yes, they are.
It's the writer and they are it's the writer, the screenwriter and the composers.
Yeah.
I mean, they have suits. They have their hair slicked back.
They're all in the big pocket of Walt Disney, so they
That's
might as well
true.
be sleazebags.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. They're trying to pressure this lady. They've been trying to pressure her for 20 years to give up her IP.
But it's not like they're dealing with the money.
I mean, they're dealing with printing the money.
It's true.
What did you call it again? Disney's what?
You mean the propaganda machine that this entire movie is?
Yes.
Yeah. Hate this film. It's gross.
But yeah, as Walt Disney gets on screen, you hear him cough, which I don't know if you know this, guys, but everyone said you knew Walt Disney was coming because you could hear him coughing.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, but Disney's trying to hide it. We'll get into that later.
Well, yeah, I know he died. He died a couple years after.
I was gonna say, I know he died too, Craig.
No, after a couple years after Mary Poppins.
Guys, come on, spoilers.
Well, they didn't even go into that in the movie.
Yeah, it's not in the movie. Not in the movie. We can talk about it. Oh shit! Now they know he doesn't die in the movie.
Great,
Damn.
guys.
Damn.
My bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So that was a nice little touch that they did. You hear him cough whenever he's about to enter the room, but he meets Mary Poppins. Oh god damn it! What's her fucking name?
Travers.
He sits down with Mrs. Travers and he says how he promised his daughters that he would make Mary Poppins movie. And he just tries to seduce Mrs. Travers after that, saying share her with the world. And she says okay, but she wants everything taped, just so that there's no funny business going on.
Smart lady.
You don't want none of that funny business. But you could tell she's quite a tight ass, you know?
Yeah, like, who can we compare her to?
Herself. She's her own woman.
That's true, she is her own woman. That I can't think of anyone who she resembles in any type of TV or film.
Yeah, it's weird that you halted the podcast to try to compare her to a different character. She is just a frumpy, stern lady, and that's fine.
She kind of I find her annoying, but that's the point.
Why is she annoying?
Oh, no, that is absolutely the point. Disney went out of their way to make her look like a terrible person. Oh,
Yeah.
Going on a plane? No, I'll take my bag. The lady offers to move her bag, and then she goes, oh, is that a baby? Is it going to be a problem? It's an 11-hour trip, I wish this plane would kill us all, including that annoying baby. They go so far out of their way to make her look like an awful, horrible person that you have no choice but to root for Disney the whole time. This movie's disgusting, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's so disgusting that they try to give Mr. Banks a mustache.
Yeah,
Oh no.
what a pervert.
But as everyone knows, a man has to spare his daughter's cheeks, and that's why he shaves.
Don't like that.
What do you mean? That's what her father said to her. Do you like scruffy kisses or do you like clean kisses?
I believe he says silky, just to really
He
add
did.
to
Yeah.
just really how terrible this sounds.
He did say silky.
I hate this movie.
It's like he's asking his like 7-year-old daughter, "You like silky kisses?
Silky kisses from daddy.
Do you prefer daddy's rough kisses or his silky kisses?"
They go so far out of their way to make the Travers family awful, pitiful human beings.
They're pretty bad. Yeah.
They're fine.
No,
They're not. They're not.
Yeah, Dad's running around and acting all silly with the girls or whatever, but like he's also
a drunk.
because he's a fucking drunk.
Because he's a drunk, and the mother is terrified because she knows her husband's an alcoholic, and he's been fired so many times because he can't keep it together. And he keeps telling his daughter, never change, be who you are, be a free spirit. And I guess be drunk all the time, and everyone hate you and be miserable. Ugh.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's fine.
No, it's not. This movie's telling me one thing and one thing alone. There's only one man in this universe who can be creative and fun, and that's Disney. And if you try it, you're just gonna have a miserable life.
No, it's fine. Like, the dad was fine. Like, I mean, sure, he had a drinking problem, but he stood up for his daughter. Like, if she wants to lay eggs, then by God damn it, she's gonna lay those eggs.
So he's gonna verbally abuse his wife so his daughter can pretend to lay eggs.
No, she's laying eggs.
Ugh.
I actually went and watched a documentary after the movie. I wish I remember the name of the documentary, but I don't.
Would have been nice.
Would have been nice to plug it. But I'll just say all of the facts from that documentary as if I knew them myself.
Perfect.
Was the movie Saving Mr. Banks?
No, it was an actual documentary and not a film made for entertainment based on real events. But the documentary, it said that when she was a little girl, she liked to pretend to be a hen. And I was like, I saw that in the movie too.
Wow. Glad you brought up this hard-hitting journalism that someone did.
It was important.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm glad you didn't remember it, because it sounds terrible now. That's all you took away from it.
There was a scene that they brought up when she first sits down with them to start. Did we get there yet? When she starts writing the thing.
I mean, you have to be a little more specific.
Yeah.
They literally sit down in the room to start like going over the script.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, just take us there.
Basically, the scene where they start going over the things and BJ Novak starts talking back to her, right?
Yeah, that was great.
And then she sends him out of the room.
Yeah.
And he starts to limp.
Yeah.
And she says, "Why does he have what's with his leg?" And then the guy goes, "He's shot." And they don't reference that at all the rest of the movie. I mean, I'm assuming it's
You want to
accurate.
focus on that?
I'm assuming it's accurate to the character.
Yeah.
But they would have had a conversation later on, maybe developing BJ Novak's character a little bit.
It's not necessary. I mean, he's supposed to be he's a known entity.
I don't know. I just
Like, they don't evolve Walt's character because he's a known entity.
You're going to have to watch Saving BJ Novak.
I guess so.
No, because that would also be full of bull crap and propaganda Disney nonsense. But anyway, I think the most important part that you missed, that after she's told that he got shot, she's like, well, I'm not surprised.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was the big takeaway of that scene.
Yeah, but she basically just wants to have her way. She wants to have it her way. She gives crazy demands. She says, you know what? We need vegetables. We're not going to have snacks anymore in this writer's room. And also, you know what? There's going to be no red in the movie.
And it happened.
It happened. She got her way.
I remember watching Mary Poppins for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Rod Sterling comes up on screen and says, you're about to enter a world much like our own, but completely devoid of red. And I thought that was weird for like the past 20 years, but now I get it.
I have never actually seen Mary Poppins, so I don't know if you're telling the truth or not.
I am. Like, Disney had to recreate an entire dimension that is much like our own, but it completely devoid of the color red. And they had to explain that without, shoehorning it in. So they just got, the Twilight Zone man to pop in and explain what's happening. It's like a crossover.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at
Yeah,
Disney World.
that was the deal.
I think that's gone. The Tower of Terror. Well, maybe not Disney World, but I think in Disneyland.
I think it's still at Disney World.
It's the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and
Yeah. So there is actually I heard this from Putch, so take this with a grain of salt, maybe. But Universal has some kind of Marvel stuff in their park.
they do.
And they have some type of agreement in which Universal has like the exclusive rights for theme park stuff in Florida. So Disney World is not going to get Marvel stuff.
So it can stay the happiest place on Earth.
Yeah, so it can stay the happiest place on Earth. No Marvel. You're just going to see Peter Pan. You're going to see live action Aladdins.
I'm glad you're mentioning all the things that aren't Marvel, because I was confused.
You're going to see Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're still going to have Star Wars. So that's the
Universal,
that's the
you really
worst
dropped the
thing.
ball on this one, huh, guys?
How could you say unfortunately? Ugh.
Keep the parks fucking separate. Keep Walt Disney World, like the actual Disney stuff.
Can we just agree to keep all of the Disney properties separate but equal?
Separate but equal at separate parks.
But equal parks.
But the ride, the Star Tours ride has always been there.
I mean, yeah, it's always been there, but it's
They're making Star Wars Land.
unfortunately.
All right, fine. Unfortunately, you're crazy, but unfortunately, you're gonna get. You know how many fans you're gonna get mad by saying unfortunately? How many fans of the
Just
Disney
you.
Dunces?
Literally just you.
Even if we got all of the fans, quote unquote, mad at that statement, I'm going to have 2 people mad at me.
You know what? If you're listening to the Disney Dunces, fans of the Disney Dunces, please tweet at the Disney Dunces mean things at Richard for
Can
telling.
we just not embarrass ourselves and ask people who would be upset at the Star Wars comment to tweet on our physical open media board? Because then it's like, oh look, there's nothing there, huh? Can we not?
Hey,
No,
you
I
never
like
know.
this.
Can't we just be cool?
Tweet mean things at Richard and tell him the Star Wars is great.
And if you're okay with all of this Star Wars hate, don't say anything.
Yeah, stay silent.
Yeah, thank you. We'll follow up next week at the results.
Okay.
It's gonna be weird because it's our Star Wars episode.
What?
I'm kidding. It's Cadet Kelly, but we'll get there later. Yeah. Anyway, back to saving Mr. Banks.
We're going to save Star Wars for another time when we're not
Yeah.
doing fucking blockbuster after blockbuster.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Saving Mr. Banks is a blockbuster? Probably was at Blockbuster. I'll give you that.
There is still one blockbuster left.
There was in Australia. They loved this movie.
No, there's actually one in the U.S. still.
Oh,
There it
really?
is, yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
It's a tourist site
Oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Duh.
now. It is. At
For all
least.
those people with nostalgia. Ooh, come look at the Blockbuster.
I'm sure we could call them and ask them if they have a copy of Saving Mr. Banks on DVD or VHS.
Hey, you might as well do it now.
It wouldn't be on VHS. This movie came out in 2013.
Yeah. Call him right now. We have some dead space to fill. You might as well do it. It's be the most interesting thing to happen this episode.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's okay. We got time.
I wonder if they'll actually answer the phone.
Probably not because it's late.
Fuck, am I actually calling?
You please
Yeah,
call
why
them.
not? What do you-
Please call
yeah.
them and just play it over the microphone, like the answer.
I don't want to do this.
Fine. Where's my phone? What's the phone number?
You're just asking them if they have a copy of Saving Mr. Banks.
What's the phone number? I'll look it up. Blockbuster Bend, Oregon.
Blockbuster Bend.
Hi. I'm curious. Do you guys have Saving Mr. Banks in stock to rent?
Let me double check for you.
Thank you.
We do carry it. We have quite a few copies on the shelf.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Bye bye.
All right, thank you for proving my point.
See, there
I
we go.
appreciate it.
They have it in stock. They got Star Wars music playing.
But yeah, I think what matters is, guys, go quick. They don't have that many copies left.
She said they had plenty.
I didn't hear that. Guys, go quick. Yeah, but does she have enough to satiate all of our fans? Probably. Anyway, that was Saving Mr. Banks. There's nothing else to say.
Where were we?
All right. BJ Novak got shot. She commented, "I'm not surprised. We're back on the road."
And she is just making those ridiculous demands. Walt Disney's like, oh, fuck, what do we do, guys?
Walt Disney did not say fuck.
You're right.
I mean, I'm sure he did plenty of times in real life, but again, this is a product of the Disney propaganda machine.
He's sitting at a table with all the Disney characters, like all the Mickey, and Minnie, and all them. And he's just like, fuck, what do you do, guys? And then Mickey's like, I don't know, Walter. Haha.
No one calls him Walter.
Oh, gosh, Walt.
Okay, let's get back on track. Let's just go to the past, because stuff happens in the past. So her dad is a banker, and he's supposed to tell everyone, all the little kids, that they gotta save their money. But, oh no, he has a big speech, he's nervous, so you know what? He just picks up a bottle and he just has at it. And then it's time for his speech, and he just makes a fool of himself, falls off stage, and
forgets his daughter's name.
Yeah, but no, he's basically did that before. Something new.
Well, the first time it seemed like it was playful. This time
Again,
he legit couldn't remember her name.
Through the eyes of a child, it seemed playful. He's just an alcoholic.
yeah, and then also in the past, the mother wakes up the girl in the middle of the night and says, I know you love your daddy more, but one day you'll understand. And she just runs off into the river and tries to kill herself. But the daughter stops her, I guess.
I don't know. Would you be able to do that? Kill yourself by like just walking into the river and trying to drown yourself? Is it possible?
She was having a psychotic episode. She was not where she needed to be mentally, so I would believe, yeah, she could easily walk into that water and just die.
Yeah, 'cause she like walked in like a zombie. She's like,
Yeah.
What's her face rode in like on a horse and got in that water. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is in Australia. There's fucking crocs everywhere.
Now, I have a question for you, Craig. So you're questioning if she would actually die walking into the river. What do you expect her to do? Like, do you expect her to just kind of just stand there and just stop going forward like she was?
I believe his idea was that like a sane person would, fight.
Would just automatically, would just
it's
come back
instinct.
up.
But
like,
again, she
yeah.
was like having a psychotic break. This is not a normal state. Her instincts
Like,
would not kick in.
If you can drown if you can't swim, but if you're like just going down, you will just kind of force yourself to come back up.
I mean, she's on a mission. She can just go face down in that river and boom.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can.
Oh, I think you fucking can, totally.
I don't know.
Again, I believe under normal circumstances, a person would fight for their life.
Because I think it's impossible to hold your breath to kill yourself. Like, it's kind of...
Yeah, because you're going to black out first.
Yeah.
And then you'll drown.
Okay, I guess, yeah.
I think we're in agreement that she
Okay.
would die from water had
She
the little
would.
girl not pulled her, like, not really pulled her out, more like made her come to her senses.
I think the croc would have got her.
Again, there's no Crocs.
They're in Australia. They're everywhere.
Do you know how big Australia is?
There's crocs everywhere.
So think about how big Australia is, and think about, because they're not in the outback. They're not in the desert.
But have you been to Florida? They're everywhere there too.
Yeah, guess
That's
what,
That's
man?
also why there are no crocodiles in this movie, because Disney just doesn't want to have people associate crocodiles, alligators, Disney.
Yeah, I mean, they're there, but again, it's part of the propaganda machine.
They did show a kangaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed a kangaroo, not the things that have sharp teeth and have eaten children on Disney property.
Yeah.
Not a laughing matter. Let's continue.
Yeah, I don't know why he laughed at that. You forgot to laugh when the mother tried to drown herself, buddy. You want us to go back?
No, you could just edit that in.
I'm not editing shit. Let's continue. Yeah, so also, I guess the dad gets sick also in the past, and a lady comes in with a bunch of bottles?
The real life Mary Poppins.
The real life Mary Poppins, who just so happens to be basically a snake oil salesman, saying, I got everything to save your husband.
Except she's not selling them anything.
Yeah, she was the Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I if anything, she bought those in the hopes of helping, heal the husband.
Wait, so who was this lady? Did she just
That
kind of
was their aunt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
And they did not make it clear.
I didn't know that was their aunt either.
Yeah, no, that's their... Well, the only reason I know that because that's who Mary Poppins is based off of. Like, at no point do I believe they mentioned that this is actually the aunt. The father makes reference to them having an Aunt Sass.
Yeah, she definitely did mention, like, an aunt at a point, but...
Yeah, but they don't say it. They don't spell it out. Oh, this is her. Like, no, this is Mary Poppins. Hello. That's the distinction you're supposed to make. But Mary Poppins is based off Aunt Sass, so this is Aunt Sass. She comes in, she fixes everything, she gets the girls to work.
No, she doesn't fix everything because the dad dies.
I guess she broke her promise.
Yeah. All of her snake oil turns out was just snake oil and couldn't do a damn thing.
And little girl was sneaking him alcohol, which didn't help matters.
Oh, yeah, that's true. She was just sneaking her dad giant bottles of liqueur, and he dies. Pneumonia. Too bad. Do we have anything else to say about the past?
It's crazy that pneumonia used to make you cough up blood, but I'm glad we're past that.
What do you mean?
I don't think that was pneumonia.
I know her real dad died from pneumonia.
Oh, okay. That does not seem like pneumonia was the case in the film.
Pneumonia can be really bad, though.
You can catch pneumonia, I get it, but like he was just coughing up blood through this movie.
Well, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I tend to be.
I'm actually on Google right now, and my search was pneumonia coughing up blood, and one of the things people also ask is coughing up blood an emergency?
Well, depends. Maybe if you like ate a Dorito and you cut the back of your throat. Not the worst reason to be coughing up blood, I guess.
But it's time to leave the past in the past, and let's move forward to brighter tomorrows, specifically at Disneyland.
Oh, the brightest of tomorrow.
This part was great. I was like, I just wanted to go to Disneyland World.
This part didn't have much of a point other than Walt trying to win a bet.
Yeah, he just wanted to get her on a ride just to get out of that grumpy situation. Well, when I say grumpy situation, but I mean grumpy personality. Doesn't work.
So that was the point, was to try to cheer her up a little bit.
To make her go to a place she had made it very clear she doesn't want to go. Demand she go on a ride so he can win $20. Yeah, that worked. It sure worked, Walt.
How great was it that Walt had pre-signed pieces of paper?
Smart.
People would ask her for a signature, and he just pulled it out of his jacket.
Smart man.
I just like that. I wonder if that's true, that he did that.
It would be a weird thing to add if it wasn't.
Yeah. It was,
it
was funny.
Because they added a lot of weird things in this movie. Like, also when he said, like, oh, we have, like, certain points in the lands just so that people can look up and easily get their bearings, which is actually a thing that I have heard several times.
Yeah, the Disney propaganda machine is very thorough with their facts.
It's true. Now, can we go fly a kite?
Please.
We're going to go fly a kite. She dances. Everyone's happy. It's great.
She has one criticism.
What's the one criticism?
Well, when they start singing. It's like, don't get me wrong, let's go fly a kite is good, but shouldn't it be let us go and fly a kite? And then they changed it.
Wait, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they rewrote the song. You guys don't know the classic let us go and fly a kite?
No.
Oh my god!
I've never seen Mary Poppins.
Oh, you've never seen Mary Poppins? Craig has though, right?
Yeah.
The big finale.
Go fly a kite.
Oh my god.
Let us.
No, you see? Yes, thank you. You're
That's
getting
what I said.
confused because you heard it the first time in this movie wrong. And that's fresher for you. No, the guy loses his job and he says, well, screw you guys. And his children come and he goes, let us go and fly a kite. Let us go and fly a kite.
Lettuce.
Let us, not let us. You stupid, ignorant bastard. You dumb human piece of shit.
Okay, let's continue. But now, everyone's getting so excited for this movie now. Even Mrs. Travers is getting excited for this movie. Especially for the penguins. We don't know how they're going to do it, but those are going to be live-action penguins trained to dance.
She's like, how are they going to do it? Those must be some really crazy penguins.
Turns out Walt's just that good. He's what they called the penguin whisperer back in the day. Because you see, before he was an animation man, he was a zookeeper in Antarctica.
Mr. Poppers.
I don't know what that means.
That's what they called him.
I don't know what that means at all.
Yeah. Mr. Poppers penguins.
Okay, one of you jackasses was supposed to correct me and say, no, they're not going to be real penguins. They're animated.
Oh, let me try. No, Richard! No! They're not live action at all! They're going to use the magic of animation. Something that... Ah, boy, she's...
But Casca,
What?
she didn't want to do any animation.
Who?
Travers. Mrs.
Oh,
Travers.
Mrs. Travers.
She said
Amy
no
Travers.
animation. She said no animation.
Oh, yeah, but no, she just didn't want Mary animated, right? Some animation's fine.
No, none whatsoever.
Oh, no.
Do you want to know none of that?
And she gets so upset that she's going back to England. Goodbye.
But she signed the papers, right? She'd just leave. That'd be rude.
Oh, she did not sign those papers. She left.
Oh, no. But she took them with them, so in case she changes her mind.
What papers are you even talking about?
The rights to Mary Poppins, she's holding on to them the entire movie, staring at them periodically.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't catch on to that.
Yeah. It was subtle.
No, dude, she didn't sign anything. She just left. And
Yeah, and then she marched into Walt's office, threw the papers at him, and then left.
yeah. But she doesn't leave just yet. She has to confess something to the only American she ever loved, Ralph, who was her driver.
Who she didn't know his name yet.
Oh, that's true. That's true. She didn't know his name was Ralph. I didn't know his name was Ralph either. It was only at that point that I learned it.
Nobody knew.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause she-
I thought
she-
I just wasn't
this
paying
was-
attention.
This was a good scene. I like this scene because she had talked. They had talked about Ralph's daughter at one point, and then he says that he finally read the book, and he got her to sign the book, and she goes, "You know what? I never got your name." And he says it's Ralph. It was a good scene. Paul Giamatti.
And then she hands him a card with her signature on it and leaves.
And then they use that card to just put it on the rights.
Yeah. Disney's a sleazebag and a swindler. And Ralph was in on it the whole time. Disney says, I'm going to torture this lady for 20 years, fly her out, give her the worst experience in the world, demean her incredibly by making her ride a ride and say, I got $20 out of the whole thing. But you, Ralph, you're just going to be you and be beloved. And then you're going to ask her to sign this book. And you know what? He got away with it.
Mm-hmm. And then he went to London just to rub it in her face.
He really did. It was gross.
He goes off to London, Mr. Walt Disney, that is. And he says, you know what? Although I now have your signature for the rights, I'm not going to trace over it or anything like that. I'm not going to be a sleazebag because I realized something. And I have my own Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks is your father, Mr. Trevor Goth or something?
I don't remember. Something like that.
Travers something. It was her last name. She took his first name and changed her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
But Walt Disney says, I have my own Mr. Banks. It's my father. And he says how he was a little boy and his father put him in the sweatshop on the paper route and his dad would spare every penny.
He's a real bastard, real comparable to an alcoholic who verbally abused your mother. We are on equal footing now, so please give me the rights.
And he says, you know what? Mr. Banks will be saved in this movie.
I hate this scene so much.
I thought that this scene was going to go in a different direction. Well, I thought it was going to go in a different direction at one point because Walt, he talks about how, he talks about his shoes. Do you guys remember him saying his shoes?
Yeah, it was part of his father being a penny pitcher.
Yeah. But one thing that I learned when I went to the Walt Disney Family Museum is that one Christmas he got new boots and he wanted to show them off. And he was just like, running around in the snow. While he's doing this, he steps on a nail and ruins his boot.
I don't see how that would even tie into this story.
I don't know either, but I thought that they were going to mention that.
Great. I'm going to go back to what I was saying, why I hated this scene so much. Is that Walt is trying to convince this broken woman that he should sign the rights to her life and her father to take that burden from her. And you don't have to live that past. You can forget about it because I'm going to change it. I'm going to make your father someone who is fondly remembered and respected, and everyone will be rooting for him.
Well, the thing is, she fondly remembered him and respected him.
Yeah, I understand that, but it doesn't change the fact that he was an abusive alcoholic.
I mean, they can still be redeemed, though. She loved her
We're
father.
redeemed how? By lying, by making up lies.
You gotta save Mr. Banks. It's the name of the movie, dude.
It's terrible. It's miserable. This is a miserable movie.
It made me sad. I feel for Mr. Banks, and I see a lot of myself in him.
Are you an abusive alcoholic father?
Yeah, what are you? What part of him do you see?
Do you have a mustache?
You're being really picky and choosy here, I feel like.
What do you mean by picky and choosy?
I mean, I get, are you an abusive alcoholic who forgets his daughter's name at the drop of a hat?
Man, you're a jerk.
Am I a jerk? Or
I
am
feel
I
for
not a
this guy.
sucker? Exactly! You fell prey to the Disney propaganda machine! It's what I've been saying this whole time! This movie's a joke and a hack, and it's awful, it's miserable, and I hate it.
I fell into the Disney propaganda machine.
I think that there was a chance for redemption for this guy, and Mrs. Travers just feels like she let her father down, and that's basically it. Like, she wanted to save him, but she couldn't save him.
She already immortalized him in a series of beloved books. Disney was just manipulating her to get the rights to make a movie to add to his big old pockets.
Well, now, I mean, I wouldn't have heard of Mary Poppins if it wasn't for Disney.
You're not English.
Walt Disney wanted to share Mr. Banks with the world, and if it wasn't for the movie, it'd just be confined to England or Australia or wherever those books were popular.
Except it was very popular in America too. You only know the movie now because, again, the books were how long ago? He was pestering her for 20 years.
So probably like 80 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, that's fine. There's a reason you shouldn't have known of Mary Poppins. And that's fine.
But we wanted to immortalize Mr. Banks forever, and here we go. Then through the movie. Books wouldn't have done that.
The books would not, yeah. The movie, is well known. Way more well known than the books.
It is nothing like the books. Again, he just manipulated a woman into stealing her IP so he can make money.
I think you're looking too into it.
What do you mean? That's the point of the movie. Looking too into it.
Okay, stop it, Mr. Smarty Pants. You should be on another podcast then if you want to talk like that. Let me and Craig
It's smart of me.
Let me and Craig fall prey to the Disney propaganda machine.
It's disgusting. Like, if he made the movies at least relevant to the books, then fine. He wanted to immortalize him, make him fondly remembered. But it wasn't that! He completely changed everything! Ugh.
We don't know that. We haven't seen Mary Poppins.
I've seen Mary Poppins. And the whole throughout the movie, she's nothing but complaining about the changes he's made. Mary Poppins wouldn't sing. Mary Poppins wouldn't do this. He completely changed the character and the characters, all of them. This isn't Mary Poppins. This is just Mary Poppins in name alone. Because again, he's riding the coattails of that popularity.
Well, no, he's doing it for his daughter.
Yeah, so he says.
Yeah, I think he probably was. If he wouldn't spend 20 years trying to get the rights to something if it wasn't for something like that. Because he would just, I honestly think if it was just for money, he would just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, like dinosaurs or
Say
something.
that like he wasn't. You say that as, well, he was pestering her once a year for 20 years. He wasn't even exactly trying his hardest.
Disney was probably trying to get the rights for dinosaurs for so long. He died, and it was in his will to make sure they get the rights.
Sure they get
to dinosaurs, and they did.
I know, he's manipulating the masses even in death. What a monster.
I can't wait for Saving the Dinosaurs, the movie.
You guys are idiots.
I don't see how.
It was a sweet, sweet thing.
I enjoyed the movie, and I also thought it was sweet.
We're not even done with everything yet.
We're not done. The movie's about to end anyway.
We basically are. Disney gets what he wants. The movie's premiering. He's being pestered to invite the author of the book that he's been bothering for 20 years, and he just happens to forget where he lives, I guess, because she doesn't get an invitation. She finds out and shows up anyway.
Yeah, and then she cries during the movie, the end.
Yeah. There, we finished it. You happy?
I read online that in reality, after she saw the movie, apparently she did cry during the movie, but then afterwards, she said, all right, like, it's not bad, but we got to get rid of that animation sequence. And then Disney says to her, sorry.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah, that ship has sailed, so she said. Which is kind of messed, it is kind of messed up, but...
Again, he didn't have to play the nice guy anymore.
No.
He got what he wanted.
He did get what he wanted.
He got exactly what he wanted, and he showed his true colors. As soon as he decided, I'm not going to invite her to the premiere. Screw her, honestly. I'm surprised they kept that part in the movie. Because they made it, she cried because it was so touching the way they showed her father. No, she cried because they, put her, they gave her, a little name. Her name was there, she, consulted by her in this little tiny print. It upset her.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did get the consulted by her, and then it also said, based on the books by...
Yeah, but she was upset by that, not necessarily the portrayal of her father.
She got two names.
Yeah, she was still upset about it. I'm not saying she's the best person or the least vain person in the world.
How many times do you see Disney on the credits?
If we're looking at the start of the movie, every film, and then again, and then they like put pictures of him in the middle of it, and then he shows up and he goes, "I love Dick Van Dyke," and then he leaves. He's in that. He's all over that movie.
Was it like that in Cars?
Yeah, he's the same thing. He shows up in Cars. He says, "I love Dick Van Dyke," and he disappears. It's weird.
Was he? Did they make him into a car though, or is he just Walt Disney?
No, he's just there as
He
him.
just pops out and says it.
Yeah, yeah.
Are there people in cars? I haven't seen the movie.
Like it. Hey, have you seen a car drive itself, or what are you asking me?
The movie Cars. Are there
Okay.
actual people?
In the cars, or like? What are you asking?
In the movie, just are there people in general in the world of Cars? Sorry.
Oh, there's a person. It's Walt Disney.
A person. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Just
You know.
Walt Disney, and he just says, "Hey, I love that Dick Van Dyke."
It just disappears.
And then he leaves.
Says he's one of the greats, and that's it. It's like, okay, well, that's cool, I guess. You just really like Dick Van Dyke.
So you really, I mean, I didn't like this movie, but it did touch me a few times and made me think about myself and my life. But you just hated this movie completely, Casca?
I thought for a movie it was fine,
Okay.
but being familiar with Disney's practices, it was hard to take this movie even kind of seriously. Like, these are the people that took every photo they had of Walt, photoshopped the cigarettes out because he was a chronic smoker, and then said, "Oh, you see his classic two-finger pose? That's what he does to point." And then makes the people at their theme parks point using that two-finger pose. I'm like, you guys went so far out of your way to rewrite history to put this guy in a better light? That's weird. You've done a weird thing, and this film is like the epitome of that. It's crazy, and I find it disgusting, and I can't take any of it seriously.
I was not aware of the two-finger point.
Oh, now you are. So keep that in mind, I guess, next time you watch this movie.
So like the statue of him and Mickey,
Yeah.
like that's. I mean, no, that can't. That just looks like him, like kind of pointing off into the distance.
Exactly, but he was holding a cigarette off in the distance, because he's not that smoke in his face.
They also separated the fingers a little bit in the statue, just so it's not as noticeable.
Yeah. Ugh.
I don't know why they would.
Because it's a negative image.
Yeah, exactly. They want to put him in such a positive light, man. It's the same reason they went back and edited out freaking the crows and Dumbo and crap like that. It's they try to erase the bad stuff of their past, which is garbage. Leave that stuff in there. You know, it happens. Get over it.
Oh yeah, I heard that they're for the new for the streaming service. Yeah, it's so stupid.
So yeah, I'm not falling prey to Disney's propaganda machine. I know what they're up to. Still love them to death with some of their stuff, but the way they picture Walt and everything, it's gross to me. And again, this film is just that.
I liked it.
Yeah, you can go for it.
That's the main reason why I wanted to watch this movie, is because I knew he was in it. Walt Disney, played by Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I love Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is fantastic.
But yeah, I thought that this was more going to be like a documentary of Walt Disney than a movie. But boy, was I surprised.
It's called Saving Mr. Banks, not The Life of Walt.
You think I knew who Mr. Banks was?
That's right, you've never seen Mary Poppins.
Exactly.
Yet you were drawn to the Mary Poppins film.
Yeah, Walt Disney.
Join us next time when we check out The Return of Mary Poppins,
No.
the sequel to the 1964 hit.
No, we're not watching the 1964 hit. We're watching the 2002 hit, known as Cadet Kelly, Disney Channel original movie.
I can't wait for this one.
Me neither. I feel like we've been wanting to watch this for a while now. Finally, we get the opportunity.
It's gonna be good.
Everyone, please follow us on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Disney Dunces, one word, no spaces. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. This is Dunce number 1, signing off.
It's Dunce number 2, Craig Stew. See you next time. Ha
Bye, guys, and I guess enjoy being another cog in the wheel.
You stumbled upon an opportunity. I can make you rich. Rich enough to impress a princess.
What would I have to do?
There's a cave of wonders.
Bring me the lamp.
O great one who summons me, I stand by my oath, loyalty to